The internet just exploded, and this time, it's not rumors, it's footage. A brand new, never-before-seen clip of Cardi B and her baby daddy Offset is going viral right now, and what's happening in that video has fans completely shocked. We're talking screaming, finger-pointing, raw emotions spilling out in a way we've never seen before. And here's the part that has everyone losing their minds. This wasn't some private argument behind closed doors. This happened in public. Cameras rolling, people watching, and now the entire internet is replaying every second trying to figure out what really went down. Some fans are saying Cardi finally snapped. Others are claiming Offset crossed a line he can never come back from. But insiders are hinting at something even deeper, something that happened just minutes before this footage started recording, something that turned a normal disagreement into a full-blown emotional explosion. Because according to sources close to the situation, this wasn't just another fight. This was years of betrayal, disrespect, and hidden tension all colliding at once. And what Cardi allegedly said in that moment, yeah, it might change everything you thought you knew about their relationship. But the real question is, what pushed things this far, right before the cameras caught it all on tape? To understand why this new heated footage between Cardi B and her baby daddy Offset has the entire internet in chaos right now, you have to go back to where everything really started falling apart. Because what you're seeing in that viral clip, that wasn't just a random argument. That was years of tension finally exploding in real time. From the outside, their relationship always looked like a roller coaster that never stopped moving. One minute, they were posting loved-up moments, smiling, laughing, acting like everything was perfect. The next, cryptic posts, unfollows, sudden silence. And then boom, another public fallout that had fans picking sides all over again. At first, people thought it was just toxic love. You know the type, where two people can't stay together, but somehow can't let each other go either. But insiders have been saying for a while now that it wasn't just toxic. It was intense. It was emotional. And most importantly, it was unresolved. Because behind the scenes, things were allegedly getting worse, not better. Arguments weren't just about small issues anymore. They were about trust, about loyalty, about who was doing what behind closed doors and who was lying about it. And according to sources close to both sides, one of the biggest problems was that neither of them ever truly let go of the past. Every old mistake, every accusation, every moment of betrayal, it all kept coming back again and again like fuel being poured on a fire that never burned out. And just when fans thought things couldn't get any messier, the situation took a turn that changed everything. Because while their relationship was already hanging by a thread, their personal lives were getting even more complicated. We're talking about new relationships, new rumors, and constant online pressure from millions of people watching their every move. At one point, it felt like no matter what either of them did, it would instantly become headline news. And that kind of pressure? It doesn't just disappear. It builds. Slowly. Quietly. Until one day it reaches a breaking point. Now here's where things get even more intense. According to multiple insider reports, the days leading up to this viral footage were already filled with tension. There were whispers of another disagreement. Subtle signs on social media that something wasn't right. Fans noticed the energy had shifted. Comments being ignored. Posts being deleted. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, this video drops. And everything changes. Because what people saw in that clip didn't look like a normal argument. It looked personal. It looked emotional. It looked like two people who had been holding things in for way too long finally saying everything they had been avoiding. And if you listen closely to what's being said in the footage, you can actually hear moments where things go from heated to completely out of control. There are pauses, interruptions, moments where it feels like something deeper is being referenced, something the public doesn't even fully know yet. And that's exactly why fans are so locked in right now. Because this isn't just about what we see in the video. It's about what we don't know. What happened before the cameras started rolling? What was said that pushed things this far? And why does it feel like this argument hit differently than all the others before it? Some people believe this was the final breaking point. Others think this is just another chapter in a never-ending cycle. But one thing is clear. This situation was building up to something big. And that viral footage? That wasn't the beginning. That was the explosion. Because what happened next, right after that argument reached its peak, is where the story takes a turn that nobody saw coming. And trust me, the next part? It only makes things worse. The moment that viral footage starts, everything already feels off. No smiles. No filters. No pretending. Just raw tension between Cardi B and Offset standing just feet apart, and you can literally feel the anger through the screen. Witnesses say it started as a conversation. Low voices. Serious tone. The kind of talk that doesn't look good, but hasn't exploded yet. But then something shifts, and it happens fast. Offset is seen saying something. Fans are still debating exactly what. But whatever it was, it hit a nerve. Because within seconds, Cardi's entire energy changes. Her posture stiffens. Her voice gets louder. Her expressions? Completely different. And that's when things go from tense to completely out of control. You really think I don't know what you've been doing? That's what fans believe they heard Cardi shout in the clip. And the second those words hit the internet, it was over. Because now this wasn't just an argument. This was an accusation. A direct, public, emotional accusation that instantly had people asking, what exactly was she talking about? Offset tries to respond, but Cardi cuts him off. Again and again. Not letting him speak. Not letting him explain. It's like everything she's been holding in for months, maybe even years, is finally pouring out all at once. People nearby start noticing. Phones come out. The energy shifts from private confrontation to full public spectacle. And that's when the shouting gets louder. More intense. More personal. At one point, Cardi is seen pointing directly at him, pacing back and forth, clearly overwhelmed, but not backing down. Offset, on the other hand, he looks frustrated but also defensive. Like he knows whatever is being said right now is about to go way beyond just this moment. And then, it happens. The moment that turned this entire situation from drama into something much bigger. A second clip surfaces. Different angle. Clearer audio. And what's heard in that video? That's what changed everything. Because in that clip, fans are convinced Cardi says something that sounds like, "You've been lying to me this whole time." Now pause right there. Because that line? That's what sent the internet into absolute meltdown mode. Lying about what? That's the question everyone started asking immediately. Was it about another woman? Was it about money? Was it about something even deeper that hasn't been revealed yet? And just when people thought they were starting to understand what was happening, Offset reacts. Not loudly, not aggressively, but in a way that made things even more suspicious. He goes quiet, steps back, shakes his head slightly, and says something low that most people couldn't hear clearly. But those close enough? They claim it sounded like, "You don't even know the half of it." And that right there? That changed the entire narrative. Because now this wasn't just Cardi confronting Offset. Now it felt like Offset was hinting at something else. Something bigger. Something that maybe Cardi didn't even fully know yet. The crowd around them gets louder. People reacting. Some trying to step in. Others just filming every second. But Cardi? She's not done. Not even close. Because just when it looks like the situation might calm down, she drops one more line that has everyone talking. A line so intense, so emotional, that people are still debating what she meant by it. "You broke everything we had." Simple words. But the way she said it, that wasn't just anger. That sounded like heartbreak. Real heartbreak. And suddenly, the entire tone of the situation shifts again. Because now it's not just a fight. It's not just drama. It's something deeper. Something personal. Something that clearly didn't start that day. And just when it feels like things can't get any more intense, Offset turns to walk away. But before he does, he looks back one more time. And whatever expression was on his face in that moment, that's what his fans completely divided right now. Some say he looked guilty. Others say he looked tired. But a few people, they think he looked like someone who knows something is about to come out and isn't ready for it. Because what nobody realized at that exact moment is that this wasn't the end of the situation. Not even close. Because just hours after this footage went viral, something else surfaced online. Something unexpected. Something that completely flipped the story on its head and raised even more questions than answers. Just when people thought that viral footage was the peak of the chaos, everything took a turn that nobody, literally nobody, was prepared for. Because only a few hours after that heated confrontation between Cardi B and Offset started circulating, another clip dropped. And this one changed everything. At first, it didn't seem like much. A short video, grainy quality, different location. But the second fans realized who was in it, the internet lost it. Because in that clip, Offset is seen again. But this time,
he's not arguing.
He's not defending himself. He's not even looking stressed.
He's calm. Too calm.
Standing off to the side, talking to someone just out of frame. And while the audio isn't perfectly clear, people online are convinced they caught a line that instantly made the situation 10 times worse. You weren't supposed to say anything yet. That's what fans think he said. Now stop right there. Because if that's true, that means there's something going on behind the scenes that hasn't come out yet. And suddenly that original argument? It doesn't look random anymore. It looks like something got exposed too early. Within minutes, social media goes into complete detective mode. Clips are slowed down. Audio is enhanced. Lip readers are analyzing every second like it's a crime scene. And then, the theories start flooding in. One viral post reads, "Wait, so Cardi didn't just snap, she found out something?" Another says, "This ain't a normal fight. This is someone catching a lie in real time." And then the most shocking theory of all starts trending. What if there's a whole situation we don't know about yet? Now the pressure builds.
Fast.
Because people aren't just watching anymore. They're invested. And that's when alleged insider sources begin speaking out. One anonymous account, claiming to be close to the situation, posts something that instantly goes viral. This wasn't about cheating, it's way deeper than that. Way deeper? That's all it took. Because now the entire narrative shifts again. What could possibly be deeper than everything fans already suspected? More clips start surfacing. Angles no one had seen before. Moments that were cut out of the original video. And in one of those clips, you can see Cardi pacing, holding her head, visibly overwhelmed. Not just angry, not just yelling, but emotional in a way that hits differently. Like someone who just found out something they weren't ready to hear. And that's when another detail catches everyone's attention. Offset isn't chasing after her. He's not trying to calm her down. He's not even arguing back anymore. He's just watching. Quiet. Almost like he knows there's no fixing this moment. And that silence? It's making things even worse.
Because the internet starts asking,
why isn't he defending himself? Why isn't he denying anything? Why does it feel like he's already accepted whatever's about to come out? Meanwhile, fans begin digging into everything. Old interviews, past posts, deleted tweets, and some people claim they've found patterns. Moments that didn't make sense before suddenly start connecting. And now, people are building entire timelines trying to figure out what Cardi could have discovered that led to that reaction. But just when it feels like things couldn't get more intense, a name gets pulled into the situation that nobody expected. Out of nowhere, people start mentioning Stefon Diggs. Now wait, because that changes everything. Fans start speculating. Was this connected to something bigger? Was there tension already building behind the scenes involving multiple people? Or was this just the internet reaching for drama? Nobody knows for sure. But one thing is clear. The story is no longer simple. It's no longer just Cardi versus Offset. It's turning into something way more complicated, way more layered, and way more explosive than anyone imagined. And just when people are trying to piece everything together, another alleged leak starts making rounds. A supposed message, unverified but spreading fast. And what it claims, if it's even partially true, it could completely flip the entire story one more time. Because now the question isn't just, what happened in that argument? The question is, what was Cardi reacting to that the rest of us still don't fully know? And trust me, what comes next? That's when the internet truly divides. The moment those clips hit the internet, it was over. Within minutes, timelines were flooded, Group chats were blowing up, and every major blog was scrambling to repost the footage of Cardi B and Offset going at each other in a way nobody had ever seen before. This wasn't just trending. This was dominating. We're talking millions of views in under an hour, hashtags climbing worldwide, and fans dissecting every second like their lives depended on it. One side of the internet immediately rallied behind Cardi. You can hear the pain in her voice. One viral post read, "She didn't just get mad, she found something out." Another fan wrote, "That's not anger, that's betrayal." People started pointing out the way she reacted, the tone of her voice, the way she kept repeating certain phrases. To them, it wasn't just a fight. It was a reaction to something deeper, something personal, something that clearly hit hard. But on the other side, Offset had his defenders too. And they were loud. "Y'all always believe the loudest person," one user posted. "Where's the proof he actually did anything?" Others argued that the clips were being taken out of context. "That video is edited," someone claimed. "We don't even know what happened before that moment." And just like that, the internet split into two sides. Team Cardi, Team Offset. No middle ground. No calm discussion. Just chaos. Meanwhile, bigger platforms started stepping in. Major blogs began posting side-by-side clips, breaking down the timeline, pointing out inconsistencies, and asking the same question everyone else was asking. What really happened before that footage started rolling? Then came the celebrity reactions. And that's when things got even messier. One unnamed artist liked a tweet supporting Cardi, and within minutes, fans were calling it a silent confirmation. Another industry figure posted, "Some truths always come out in public, no matter how hard you try to hide them." That post alone sparked thousands of replies, with people trying to figure out who it was directed at. Was it about Offset? Was it about Cardi? Or was it about something else entirely? Then a popular media personality went live and said, "I've heard things about this situation that haven't come out yet, and trust me, if they do, it's going to get ugly." That one sentence, it sent the entire situation into overdrive. Because now it wasn't just fans speculating. Now, it felt like people in the industry were hinting that there was more behind the scenes. Something bigger. Something that hadn't been exposed yet. And just when you thought it couldn't get any crazier, news outlets started picking up the story. Headlines everywhere. Explosive footage goes viral. Fans divided over heated confrontation. New questions raised after second clip emerges. Each article adding fuel to the fire. Each headline making the situation feel even more intense. And then came the breakdown videos. Creators analyzing body language, zooming into facial expressions, replaying the same 10 seconds over and over, trying to decode what was really being said. Some claimed Cardi looked heartbroken. Others said Offset looked guilty. But nobody could agree on one thing. What actually caused this moment? And that's what kept people hooked. Because the more footage people watched, the more confused they became. Some clips made Cardi look justified. Others made the situation feel unclear. And Offset's silence? That only made things worse. Because while Cardi's reaction was loud, emotional, and impossible to ignore, Offset wasn't saying anything publicly. No posts. No statements. Nothing. And that silence? It started to feel intentional. Calculated. Like he was waiting for something, or someone, or maybe for the right moment to respond. And that's when a new theory started spreading like wildfire. What if he's not talking because something big is about to drop? Now, imagine that. The internet already on fire, fans already divided, and now people thinking there's another reveal coming? That's when things shifted from drama to anticipation. Because now everyone wasn't just reacting, they were waiting. Waiting for a statement, waiting for another leak, waiting for someone to finally explain what really happened. But instead of answers, something else started happening behind the scenes. Something quiet, something subtle, something that most people didn't notice at first. But once it was spotted, it raised even more questions than before. Because if what fans started noticing is true, then this situation, it's not ending anytime soon. Just when it felt like the internet had reached peak chaos, everything flipped again. And this time, it didn't come from a viral clip. It didn't come from a fan theory. It came from something way more subtle and way more unsettling. Because while everyone was busy arguing, picking sides, and replaying the footage of Cardi B and Offset over and over again, a small detail quietly surfaced. At first, almost nobody noticed it, but once people did, it sent a completely different kind of shock through the internet. Fans started pointing out that Cardi had made a quiet move online. No announcement, no explanation, just a change, a post, then a deletion, then another post that disappeared within minutes. And according to those who caught it in time, the message wasn't loud. It wasn't aggressive. It was something else entirely. Something emotional. Something that sounded less like anger and more like realization. One screenshot that's been circulating, unverified but spreading fast, allegedly shows a line that reads, "Sometimes the truth don't hurt until you finally accept it. Now pause. Because if that's real, that changes everything. Because that doesn't sound like someone still arguing. That sounds like someone who just came to a conclusion." And suddenly, that viral footage doesn't feel like the peak anymore. It feels like the beginning of something bigger. Meanwhile, Offset silence? It finally breaks, but not in the way people expected. No long explanation. No apology. No denial. Just a short, cryptic post that appeared late at night and had fans completely confused. Everything ain't what it seemed. That's it. 4 words. And somehow, those 4 words made the situation even more intense. Because now people are asking, what isn't what it seems? The argument? The accusations? The entire relationship? Or something we haven't even seen yet? And just when fans thought they were starting to piece things together, another layer gets added. Because insiders are now claiming that what happened in that viral footage might not have been spontaneous at all. According to one source, that moment was coming, it was just a matter of when. Meaning this wasn't random. It wasn't sudden. It was inevitable. And if that's true, then whatever Cardi reacted to was something that had been building behind the scenes for a long time. Something that finally reached a breaking point. But here's where things get even more complicated. Because while fans are convinced this might be the end, others are saying the exact opposite. They believe this is just another chapter. Another explosion in a cycle that never truly ends. And if history has taught us anything about these two, it's that nothing is ever simple. Nothing is ever final. And nothing ever stays quiet for long. Because right now, there are still unanswered questions. Still missing pieces. Still moments from that footage that haven't been fully explained. And most importantly, still something that Cardi reacted to that the public hasn't fully seen yet. And until that comes out, this story isn't over. Not even close. Because if there's one thing everyone agrees on right now, it's this. Whatever really happened behind that viral footage hasn't been fully revealed. And when it finally is, it could change everything all over again. And just like that, the question everyone is asking is not going away anytime soon. Because after everything we've seen, after the leaked footage, after the rumors, after the social media chaos, this story is still not over. So now I want you to tell me in the comments, do you think Cardi B is done staying quiet this time? Or is this just another explosive chapter in a cycle that never really ends? And be honest, did Offset go too far this time? Or is the internet blowing this whole situation way out of proportion, like always? Because one thing is clear, every time we think this story is finished, another twist drops out of nowhere. And if this new heated footage is already shaking the internet like this, imagine what's coming next. There are still unreleased clips being talked about. There are still insider leaks circulating behind the scenes. And there are still questions nobody has answered yet. So don't forget to like this video if you want part 2 ASAP. Subscribe right now because you already know, when this story updates again, it's going to be even more explosive than this one. And turn on notifications because the next drop might change everything we think we know about Cardi B and Offset. Stay tuned because this story is far from over.